Hey everyone, happy Monday night. I'm just going to wait until I can see that I'm actually live. You can see me, hear me, all the good stuff. Hopefully. Okay, it looks like I'm showing up. Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. How is everybody tonight? I hope you're all not too freezing. So let me just say hello to everybody. Hey, Kev. Irishman, how you doing? Hey, Nancy. That's okay. Have a good evening. Hey, Mary. Prepping artist, Kelly and Rambo. How you guys doing? Freezing down here. What's freezing to you? Like 52 degrees? Just curious. Teresa! Billy! How you doing? Oh my God, minus 12. That sounds, see, no, that's cold. That is called get on my couch under like 6 blankets, have some hot coffee in my hand, read a book, and be done with it. That's the rest of the day. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Hudson Valley, great to see ya. TT1. Payne Seth, I don't think I've ever seen you before. Hey, Prepper Book Club, how are ya? Hey, Cha Cha. Hey, Rural 2, I see. How are you? Hey, Al. Safe pick with others in tow. Oh, thanks. Try to stay warm. Oh, that's not fun. Yeah, that's called not leaving the house. 61, that's just mean. Uh, Nothing that's going to enhance my prepper skills, I'll tell you that much. I read for enjoyment. I have a lot of books that will teach me stuff, but the stuff that I read on a normal, I was Hunter, just plain Hunter. Hey, Tiger. Yeah, the books I read are just literally for enjoyment. Okay, awesome. So let me just get my disclaimer out. I am not a doctor, nor am I any kind of licensed therapist. Everything on here is just based on my own opinions and my own life experiences, and nobody in if I have a guest on, nobody in my guests are also not doctors nor therapists unless they specifically say they are, because I did have one. Hey, Moonsprout. Um, so anything I say is literally just an opinion, and this is just a support group for anybody who has anxiety, depression, OCD, agoraphobic, because I have definitely been in those places. Hey, J3G3, how you doing? Rocksteady, William, how are ya? Hey, NYC, how are ya? Um, okay, so hey, little old prepper. So I'll give you guys my story this week of my over anxious mind that won't shut up, and my overthinking that caused me great anxiety this week. So, because you all know I'm crazy already, so I might as well, keep it going with this. So this was my story this week. My husband keeps smelling a smell, and he's like, I'm smelling this thing. I don't know what it is. It smells like lacquer thinner. It smells like paint thinner. And one time he said that it smelled like exhaust. So I kept telling him, you're crazy. Nobody else smells it. My son doesn't smell it. I don't smell it. I'm a little hard to smell, so I don't always smell things. So sometimes I have to, you know, I don't always rely on my nose. So, after telling him he's crazy, then all of a sudden he says, when was the last time we had the chimney clean? Well, now, of course, now my brain goes into overload because when we first moved in, we have gas heat and we don't have a fireplace. So when we first moved in, we didn't know much about it. I was just like, I don't know. We have to get certain things. I'm like, there's a chimney. I'm guessing you have to have it cleaned. And the only reason I even thought of this is because growing up, my neighbors across the street had a chimney fire. So it was just something that had always stuck in my head. Um, so way after we did it, and I went to work, whatever, I was talking to whoever it was. They were like, you have gas and no, you got rolled. You did not need to clean your chimney. Like you don't need to do that. And I'm like, okay. So I just never, that was it. I never thought about it again until he said something like that. And I was like, wow, we've been in this house like 22 years and we haven't had our chimney cleaned since. We haven't even had it looked at. Like I have carbon monoxide detectors all over my house. I have 3 in my basement. I have at least 3 on my main floor. I have smoke detectors in every room, and I have gas detectors because we have gas. So I'm a little obsessive about that stuff, but hey, I can't, I feel like that's okay to be obsessive about. So, I know my carbon monoxide detectors are not going off. The gas is not going off. But when he's telling me he smells this, it's, um, well, what if the monoxide detectors are just not working? What if? So that is right. Exactly, Chacha. You can't be too safe when it comes to things like that. I have a fire extinguisher in every bedroom. I have, um, I have fire blankets under every sink. Yeah, so it's just, yeah, we had a weird smell too and just cleaned ours. See, okay, so it's definitely not just me. But now I have to call up and I have to get somebody to come over. I don't know any chimney guys. I just know most of them are scammers. At least they were back in the day. Hey KP, hey Steele. So, I go on the local moms group and I'm like, hey, anybody have a chimney person? So a couple people recommended a chimney person. I got them over. I actually really liked this guy. And he's like, your chimney's clean. He goes, you should probably do it every 5 years or so just to keep the town off your back type of thing. He goes, but other than that, you're good. I was like, okay. He's like, yeah. He's like, whatever that you think you smell is definitely not coming from that. But meanwhile, my poor son, he bears the brunt of my overthinking and my anxious thoughts that don't shut up. But now that because we have a basement apartment that he lives in, which I mean, he's most of the time he's upstairs anyway, but that's where he sleeps. So before we can get somebody in to look at this chimney, I'm worried. I'm worried about him sleeping down there. So the poor kid gets woken up, oh, I thought you were already up. And he's probably listening to me going, damn it, that's why she keeps waking me up in the morning. So anyway, that was my story for the week, my what keeps me up at night type of thing. And, as I said, you all know I'm already crazy. So I'm just going to check to see if I missed any people or any comments. Had that happen before. Tell him to clean his nose. Yeah, you know what? I keep trying to tell him to use the neti pot and he refuses. Okay, so before I forget, because my friend Kevin here, my brother, is going through some health issues and really could use your prayers. So anybody who is a praying person, I am asking you to send Kevin some prayers because he's got some pretty decent things going on there that, you know. So if you all could, please, I would definitely appreciate it. If you burn firewood, really. Yeah, I don't have a fireplace, so that's why I never even thought about it again. We literally, it's just gas and a chimney for whatever the chimney purposes are, which I don't even know why there's a chimney. Oh, that's right, Moonsprout. What are you're doing something, right? You're writing a book? Oh, I'll be right back. Okay, sorry. I just saw that. Yeah, Moonsprout, I'm sorry, you said you were writing a book, right? Yeah, because I would definitely, is it a cookbook? I forget. I know you had said it. But yeah, whatever it is, I'll share it out too. Oh yeah, I haven't seen Leah. Sorry, I'm just going through to see if I have to clean out the wood stovepipe every couple of months or it smokes out the house. Like this. Oh yeah, that would suck. Typically, dust on the chimney pipe always smells funny when you first fire them up, and it dissipates after a while. Okay. Is that just for people who burn wood, or is that for anybody? Am I kind of good between grocery shopping or being chased by a bear? Oh, you mean for anxiety purposes? Yeah, that's I understand that completely. I'm not sure why my mind sees grocery shopping as a threat. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I hope he's okay. Sensor. I found a dead bird in a chimney ching and a sensor on. Oh, what is it? What would it sensor the boiler to do? Exactly. No, they didn't get me. I just, I did say I'd be right back. Listen, if I ever get kidnapped, I will just nag them until they return me. So that is my superpower, nagging till they don't want me anymore. It is a cookbook. Okay, I was remembering correctly. Yes, I will definitely order one, and I will definitely share that out. And Kevin always says that he is invincible. I told him I'm keeping him to that. Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe that's what he's smelling. As I said, I am not a I'm not good. My nose doesn't work very well. I'm thinking about writing a book that will be Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster UFOs, a happy marriage. That's not true. I still love my husband, believe it or not. And we've been together for like 26 years. So I saw Bob cut across the that made me a little anxious. That would make me a little anxious too. But I think that fear is warranted. You know, they're cool from afar, not that close. Oh, okay. That makes sense. That's what I said, Coffee. They would bring you back. I know. Either that or I just tell them really bad jokes until they were like, yeah, you just got to go. I don't even know. Yeah. You acted like a serial killer and was about to shoot you. No, I didn't. You know what? If a serial killer busted through my door, I wouldn't have even said I'll be right back. Actually, I would have kept letting it play. So then I would have had video, for when they were looking for the guy or the girl that killed me. Oh, that's wonderful. That's great to hear. That's okay. Hey, Pilgrim, how you doing? Took me a while to train him. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I can't. He's putting me on the spot. I usually, you know what it is? I usually respond to people saying things. But if I start going, I'll never stop. I actually speak in dad jokes all day long at work. And my boss feeds right into it. So I get stuff thrown at me. It's kind of funny. They're like, please stop. I was going to be. There you go. That was perfect. I always wanted to be a comedian because of the whole, what do you call it? Oh, wow. I just screwed that up already. For the whole cannibalism thing. Cannibals don't eat anybody, comedians, because they taste funny. Right? That's what I said. I'm like, you know what? You got to make people laugh a little bit. But usually they're groaning around me. And it's funny because I have everybody, for some strange reason, I don't know why, gives me like a book of of dad jokes for Christmas, and I have like 12 of them on my desk. So every time, somebody says something and I'm like, I think we need a joke, and I'll break that out. And they're like, please don't. And they run away. Yeah. I do have a lot of those too. You know what is, I guess, there's weird things I remember. I remember phone numbers. I remember every joke I've ever heard. I can remember every lyric to every 80s tune out there. Can't remember what I ate for breakfast. So that's the balance of it. See, now Kevin's got jokes because ice and coffee don't go together. Oh no. You feeling better? Yeah, that's funny. We'll try finding a half a worm in your outfit. There you go. Hey, Green Thumb Prepper, how are you? Hey, Casey, little owl. All right, so I had saw a few things because the whole algorithm and all that stuff. Once you click, or I don't even know how it knows. I think I just took a screenshot of it, so I don't even think I clicked into it. But I'm getting all these things now that come up on my feed, and some of them are actually pretty cool. So I screenshotted a bunch of them, and I was like, you know what? These are where'd it go? Trying to find my camera. Okay. All right. I thought this was actually pretty cool because very, this is pretty true to life. So, at least in my case, hey, Daryl. So, it's called What an Anxious Person Thinks But Doesn't Dare Say. There's only 8 of them. So, first one is I am afraid people will find out I'm not as confident as I seem. That one doesn't really apply to me because I don't usually come forth as confident. Very, very rarely. Only if I'm extremely comfortable with a situation that I've been around for a long time. Um, yeah, number 2. Here we go. This is me to a T. I keep replaying conversations in my head, worried I said something wrong. I know a lot of you guys said you were overthinkers. Hey, Celtic Grandma, how you doing? Does do you guys replay conversations in your head? Because I do it constantly, and it drives me crazy. And how did they take it? And you know, because I feel like I've always had a different thought process than people, and I think some of that is anxiety, and I think some of that is like being of a prepper mindset. I think between the two of them, it just makes me have a different thought process, and I get to the same conclusion a lot of times that a lot of other people do. It's just that I go in a different direction than they do. If we both end up, at this point over here, everybody else goes right while I'm going left to get there. And whether it takes me quicker or shorter to get, or longer to get there, it's irrelevant. It's just kind of my own way. So when I talk sometimes, I kind of, I'm kind of getting to a point that's like 6 miles down the road. And sometimes the things that I say don't really fit with with the sentences that I'm in now, if that makes any sense whatsoever. So, all right. So number 3 is I'm scared of making the wrong decision, even with the smallest choices. That may not necessarily be me. I can usually make a decision. I always do that. I think of great things that I could have should have said 3 hours ago. Oh yeah, well yeah, that's 100%. I'm like, oh man, I should have said that. It's a Long Island thing. What being at wait, talking in circles? I'm confused. I'm not sure which you were saying that to. But yeah, I don't really have a trouble. Hey, Roman Pepper, how are you? I don't really have too much of a problem making choices. It depends on the situation. If I'm in an uncomfortable situation and I don't sorry, if I am in an uncomfortable situation and I'm either having a panic attack or if I just do something stupid, I will say I'm okay a lot. If I am not, I've actually learned to stop saying that. Some now I'm more of a I'll be okay, just give me a few minutes. Make a short story long. I can do that with the best of them. I am not only a chatter, I'm a nervous chatter. Fair enough. So I guess I'm living in the right place, which today I said I'm living in the wrong. I said I was born to be a homesteader, but I was born in the wrong state and nobody in my family did anything like that. So I didn't grow up like knowing. I mean, my grandmother had a little bit of stuff that she taught me, but other than that, I had none of it because I made my first batch of ricotta cheese today, and it actually came out delicious. I was very proud of myself. And then I used the whey to cook my rice, so I was kind of happy that I did that. And I made the onion sugar syrup stuff, and I tasted it. It wasn't too bad. I gave it to my son, who took it home with him because he's really sick, and I'm sure he's not going to take it, but I told him to anyway. But wow, it's pretty potent. You know, I actually, Hudson Valley gave me that idea when he was talking about it. He was saying it on one of his lives. He kept saying, call or text 988. And I'm like, you know what? That would be a really good banner for, my channel that deals with all of this stuff. Kind of. Oh, I never heard that. I'm going to have to listen to that. I always say, if somebody needs somebody to talk to, I am an email away. I am more than happy to give you my email. If you have my number, you are more than welcome to call me. But there's certain things, if you're ever that far gone, you need to talk to a professional. I am not one. I am just somebody who can listen and possibly sympathize because I've probably been through something like that. Hey, CUCV farmer, how are you? Yeah, I was actually impressed with myself today. I was like, okay, first time trying to make it. I did make a mess. My husband calls me the sweetest chef, from Sesame Street, because I can't not make a mess. I don't know why. And no matter what I do, and I will try really hard not to, but I do, I make a mess. Society is severely broken. And I think they broke it on purpose. I think they like people. Thank you. I will get paralyzed by too many choices. I get stuck trying to decide which of the 100 kinds of barbecue sauce to decide. I get it. I completely get it. Um, it's I don't have that particular issue, but I understand the whole thought process of going through something like that, where you can't, if that makes sense. The same type of frustration I have with different things, even though it's not that particular thing. I have to try and tell myself, something like, okay, so what happens if I get the wrong one? Worst case scenario is I don't like it and then I throw it out. That would be, I will try to go with my worst case scenarios and work backwards from there. Okay, so if this happens, that'll be it. You know, nobody's going to die from it. Nobody's going to, get sick from it. And, if I can kind of tell myself that it's really not that big of a situation, then I can try to talk myself into making, into doing something, that I need to do. Oh, that talk about stress. I will definitely send you prayers. That is a hard thing to do. We got my new one in August, I want to say, and it's one of the biggest stressful things. If you go on the last day of the month, you can usually get a good deal. I happened to hit it. We got like 1.99% financing because we hit it on the last day of the month. I sent a couple of bags of food and 50. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't even believe how much cars are now. Hey, Tuck. Oh, nice. Enjoy. Oh, let's talk to me. Most people just need to. You know what? That's really true. I think that's just ingrained to us. We just, even if you don't agree, even if you don't, um, anything else, you just, people want to know that they're heard. It's funny. I made a joke today about that. I was talking to my girlfriend, and she's like, "Oh, it's going to be a lazy day," and I'm like, "Oh, I was actually a little productive today," and I started stating what I did, and then she's like, "Oh, well, I did this, this, this." I'm like, "Oh man, you're beating me." I'm like, "But everything I did took a lot of time," and she's like. And I kept trying to justify it, and then she's like, "I'm like, see, I just wanted to have some little bit of recognition for what I have done already." Yes, it was a joke, but it's true though. We do. We want some sort of. We just really want to be heard, and I think it's just part of our nature. I'm not sure what you're agreeing with. You know what the problem is I go off on things. I say like seven things, and then I can never figure out what people are talking about after that. Definitely will never make the mistake of buying a new car again. I always use low miles cars. Okay. You're saying something I wasn't. You're funny. All right. So, green thumb, I was actually thinking of you today. I took an onion, and after I cut it off, I cut it up. I took the bottom and I stuck it in a little baby glass of water. So, just so the roots are in water. If it starts to grow, can I then throw it in dirt? Hmm. Hello, my friend. Nice to see you. Uh, Spending money is easy, making wise is tougher. I'm old enough to buy. Absolutely. You know what? It doesn't matter. You could be 22 and call it a midlife crisis and buy a cool car. Sometimes, we just you gotta do with things that make us happy. Oh, that's awesome. I I'm lucky I know where the steering wheel is, and that's it. Just seeing if I missed anything. Sorry. The thumbnail from Match Headlines from Saturday night. Why? What's it of? It's everyone's temp tonight, and in the morning apparently we're going to 4 degrees with my. Oh, in Texas? All right, Kelly. I'm sorry if it's that cold for you guys over by where you are. I take back my 52 degrees. Holy crow, that is insane. We are Celsius. I'm trying to convert that. What is that? What is that, like 4 degrees? Is that like 4 degrees? I'm trying to remember the formula for conversion. I forget. It is supposed to be, I think we're supposed to go down to 11 tomorrow. I don't know what the wind chill will be. Ouch. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we're at currently. I have not walked outside all day long. Thanks for growing your onion. Yes, you can, but you don't have high hopes of a good onion. It might grow all weird. Hey, I like weird. Oh, I missed it. I've actually trying to be getting things done. I've been trying to stay off a little. What did I say? Feel real quiet. Can you that was funny. Hey, Michigan, how are you? Okay, so I will. Let's say July 22. Okay, so I will. I was going to read the rest of these. Okay, so I feel like this is probably a big one, especially for this community. So, number 4 is I feel like I am constantly waiting for something bad to happen. And I'm wondering if I have switched over what bad things I used to think were going to happen now that, because I've always said I was born a prepper. I just didn't know that there was a name for it. I have always been, even as a kid, I remember putting stuff away, hiding stuff for a different day, putting my money under my mattress type of thing. Hey, Katrenka, I always remember doing that, stocking up on different things where I could, even as a kid. I started working at 12, so I had my own money. Um, and but I didn't, as I said, like I didn't know that there was even a community of this until like COVID hit, and I was bored one day, and I went and I was looking something up that I was trying to do, and so I think it was CP who popped up. I think he was my first video, and then I just found, and then I just found this whole community, and I never, that I never knew existed. But I wonder if back then, because the things that I thought back then, I don't really think that much anymore now. I've kind of switched it over to, things that are going on in the world. Um, so I think I've kind of just moved everything over, if that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys like feel the same way, but I know a lot of people. I see it all the time. They're like, got a really bad feeling, got a really bad feeling, and it is this community because of of how we think. So I always stack my medical supplies and didn't tell anyone. I thought it was weird. See, and then you found people, and you were like, there you go. I'm not weird. I'm just prepared. I always thought I was too. I would tell people things, and I'd be like, "Oh no, you know what? I have extra, for so and so," and they'd be like, "Why? When you need it, you just go to the store and get it." And I'm like, "Well, what if I don't want to go to the store at that point? What if what if I'm not feeling good? I don't want to go to the store. Like things like, I always say my go-tos were always chicken soup, homemade chicken soup, and homemade and pure grape juice were always my go-tos when I was sick when I was a teenager. Well, I would actually buy that stuff and keep them in my room because back then I didn't know how to cook. I couldn't cook my own chicken soup. Nobody in my house made it. So I would actually buy cans of soup, and I would have, things of grape juice, and I would put them in my bedroom. And people are like, "Why do you have these?" I'm like, "Well, because if I'm sick and I don't want to go out, I have them here." Like that's what they're for. They're for when I don't feel good because it was the only time I ever ate them. Right? I understand that completely. Okay, so number 5 is a big one. I wish I could just ask for help, but I don't want to seem weak. Asking for help actually, I feel like makes you stronger. One, you're going to get the help you need. And two, you're overcoming your fears of asking for help. It's not a bad thing just because everybody needs help in some way or another. They might not necessarily need the same help that you're asking for. They might need help with something else, but it doesn't make it any less important for what you're asking for. If you need help, just leaning on somebody just because you need to get stuff out, that's okay. If you need help because you have really bad anxiety and you're afraid to leave your house, that's okay. Asking for help is like the first step. I think that makes you stronger, not weak. So that's, my opinion. Program that chose to put. Which show are you talking about? Are you talking about the one that Angry Pepper was on? What was that called? What's that called? Doomsday Preppers or something like that? Is that what you're talking about? I, I absolutely had some anxiety when things got exactly more messy. That's funny because that's something that I was actually looking at before about anxiety and clutter. Not funny to you, just that you mentioning it. Clutter is really bad for stress. Really bad for stress and anxiety. So that, yeah, Doomsday Preppers. Yes, that was. Yeah. I watched it, 2 or 3 times, and I was like, "This is kind of ridiculous." I understand it's really hard to get out of that mindset. Once you are, especially if you grow up like that, you know, I don't know. If you can try to break it, because, like I said, if you put it this way, does if somebody asks you for help, do you go, "Oh my God, what a weak person," or are you like, "Oh my God, yeah, let me help them"? So if you can kind of put it so you turn it around and say, well, how would I think of these people if they asked me for something? If somebody came to you and was like, hey, I need to lift this heavy box. Can you help me? Yeah, you would think nothing of it. Now, if they came to you and said like, "Hey, I'm having a hard time. Would you mind, sitting and talking to me?" Would you be like, I don't know. That makes you a weak person. So, or you'd be like, "Hey, let's sit down. You want to have a cup of coffee or a cup of wine or a beer or whatever it is." So, if you wouldn't think that about them, chances are they're not going to think that about you either. I got one of those head swipe thermometers. I actually I did took I, on accident. My 2-year-old took it, and I have never noticed to my mom. Till mom cleaned out this pocket. I'm not. I think I missed something there. Yeah, it's funny. And you know what is even funnier? My desk at not now is not that bad, but at my last office, my desk had so many piles of everything over it because there was just no I had so many things going on in that office. And it was just it actually took me 3 weeks when I had gotten my promotion and moved offices. I It took me 3 weeks to clean off my desk. And I'm actually not that organized at home either, believe it or not, which is probably why I'm half the stress that I'm under. I'm going to make my own purpose show. That would be super cool. Oh, I hope you do it. You'd be really good at it too. The application for the show exposed what? Oh yeah, that too. Right? I think he'd be really good at it. Oh my God. Hey, Grit and Grace, how are you? Yep, you got a lot of support. That's awesome. Once I get going, I get things done. Or if I'm passionate about something, I am getting it done, and I don't give up until it gets done. To the point I obsess over it. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes it's not. With special guests. Oh, cool. Excellent. Where are you gonna do it like on YouTube? Right? I mean, they really did. All right. So, okay. So, I feel like 6 is a big one here too. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed by things that seem simple to others. I get that all the time, and I try to tell people I don't take my own advice. I'm really I'm really good at telling other people like, "Hey, you should do this." I don't take my own advice half the time. I try to. Doesn't always work out. Don't compare yourself to others. You can do things that they can't. They can do things that you can't. It is what it is. Everybody's got their own strengths and weaknesses. Don't compare yourself to others. Don't get overwhelmed because other people can do stuff. You have your own talents, and just know that. Number 7, I hate feeling out of control, but I don't know how to make it stop. That's anxiety in a nutshell. And number 8, I feel well. This is all me. I mean, this is 100% me. I want to fit in, but I feel like I never ever do. And it's as I said, I've always had a different thought process than everybody else. It takes me, a different different way to get around things. And I think just with like, I guess my prepper mentality, that also hinders things on feeling like I'm just not, because most of today's anything, TV shows, music, anything, it doesn't matter what it was, what it is. I could literally care less about any of that stuff. I am not the in person. I do not watch reality shows. I do not listen to whatever they are calling music these days. I don't do any of that, and that already puts me behind, just like in a social type of atmosphere with um with those types of people. And then I I've totally just lost what I was going to say. I totally went squirrel because I started reading something. Well, that's always a good thing. Stopping the rest of the voices. All right. Well, that was all eight. That was everything on my list tonight. No TV for me. No, I watch TV. Not that often. I watch it. It's usually on in the background. If I'm watching something, it's older. I like the old sitcoms from the '80s and the '90s. I like kind of like mindless TV, or older movies. I haven't really found what much that I like these days that have come out new. I do like superhero stuff though. I like fantasy stuff, superhero stuff. Anything that I can that I usually don't need too much brain power in the background, and that's my old sitcoms, Seinfeld, Friends, all that kind of stuff. And that's only if the TV is on. Usually, my husband and my son are watching it. They watch all those, those other shows, the Shamelesses and the what do you call it, Rick and Morty. They love Rick and Morty. I can't do it. I can't watch fiction. I gotta be. No, see, I only like fiction. I really don't like anything that's not. I I like to learn hands on. I am not a watcher. I am a doer. So if that's why I always said, I until somebody comes and teaches me how to garden, I keep trying. I'm not giving up. I keep trying. I'm working on other skills more just because I feel like I can learn them better, and gardening is going to be one of those things that's going to take me forever to do, because I literally need somebody to come in and say, here's what we're going to do. We're going to plant this like this. We're going to see the soil. It should feel like this. I've watched 8 million videos. I mean, you guys are awesome. I've had a whole ton of you that have offered to, walk me through it, get on FaceTime with me, do it exactly, um, you kind of do it with me. And that's awesome. I appreciate it so much. I need somebody to come and show me though. If I'm not, you can describe it all you want, but unless somebody's like, here, do this, that's how I learn. It's just me. It's my brain doesn't work so I can read it and do it. I mean, I can follow instructions, but if it's something I have to learn, I can't do it. Which is why I keep trying to do things like my scallions. I just throw them in water after I cut them, and the onion. And I'm going to try, because I have a celery I have to cut up, so I'm going to try the same thing with celery because it's not costing me anything. I try it. If it doesn't go anywhere, I didn't lose anything. I have a whole bunch of pots sitting next to me on a shelf that is, it's got a big window on it. So I keep trying to put it there. I just don't like the movies where the killer's in the house. Yeah, no, I can't do those. I can do the old B scary movies like from the 80s and 90s. Those are hysterical. But I can't do psychological thrillers. Like, oh, you're sweet. Can you come here and help me, though? Is the problem. I tried to make my fiction teach people. That's cool. Yeah, that might be one of them that they like too. I know they watch a few cartoon things. Awesome. I'm going to send you my address right after this, and I'll see you over the weekend. Tuesday. That is okay. I feel like that would, I've never actually watched that, but I feel like that would be cool. That's the one where like freaky stuff happens, right? See, that kind of stuff I like. As long as it's fiction and not really like scary. I like weird. I don't like psychological scary though. Right. It's just about 8 o'clock, so I am going to shut this down. Not much to do garden yet unless you have seeds that need. Yeah, see, I don't even know what that means. Hey, how you doing, the goddamn bacon? I watched it after I found, I didn't see it when he was on it originally. He had said something, and I was like, oh, he was on that show. I'm going to have to go find it. So I went and found it. Teresa, I still have that 10-second timeout thing, just saying. All right, I hope I didn't go too squirrel on you guys tonight. I feel like I really, really did. So you'll have a really great night. And as I always say, if you need somebody to talk to and you don't have my email, leave it in a comment in the chat, and I will be happy to give it to you. And if you need anything, as I said, if you have my number and something's going on, send me a text, and we'll talk. So you'll have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you all soon. Take care.